26 weeks, when you discover that your waters have broke, it's pretty scary. And for us living regionally, we really didn't know what would happen. And so there was many questions going through our minds around what happens now. And one of them was, well, what if we can't get to specialist help? I mean, we were first-time parents. We hadn't really thought through all the things that could possibly go wrong. You know, we'd ticked the 12-week milestone, we'd ticked the 20-week scans, everything was looking fairly good. We had no reason to suspect that it would be a difficult pregnancy, or that we would be faced with questions around what we would do if our child came preterm. So it hadn't even crossed our minds.
So the doctors were really concerned about Stirling's lungs at that age, or that gestation, so they had to do some work with that, with steroids and things, to help with the surfactant in his lungs. And that was one of their major concerns, is that he wouldn't be able to breathe on his own.
The obstetricians spent a lot of time looking at new techniques or different ways to sort of stave off labour.
He sort of went into labour a few times, and they did a lot of work to keep him in there. The team, they put up a pretty good fight though, and held him off for 8 weeks, which was amazing, because without that we wouldn't have a son.
He came out screaming with no issues with his lungs, so. After Stirling's birth, he was taken directly to the neonatal critical care unit. He was such a trooper that they actually allowed him to move into special care about 12 hours after he was born. He spent a week there. He did struggle with jaundice and so forth, so he spent a lot of time in the humidity cribs, but really had a pretty amazing experience from there, and fed really well, and was able to be discharged at 35 weeks. At the time, he was the youngest child to be discharged from the Mater.
It was pretty small for that car seat though.
Yes.
There's a lot of neonate equipment that's been provided by the foundation to the Mater Hospital, and that equipment we directly benefited from the humidity crib that Stirling was in under the blue lights, to the warmers, even I think to simple things like the seating that the mothers can sit in to feed their babies in that environment. So there was a lot that we got support from.
I think also we benefited from the additional staff training that they would have had access to through generous donations over the time. Probably also, you know, the visiting researchers, lecturers and so forth, being able to really ensure that the skills that they're putting into use day in, day out are at the top of their game at the time. The reality is you can't put a price on your child's life. And so no amount of money would ever really thank the Mater for what they did for our family.